Our esteemed panelist cricketer Jhulan Goswami and author and journalist Suprita will discuss with renowned commentator and author Boria Majumdar the fate of women's cricket in India. Jhulan Goswami is an all-round cricketer and the former captain of the Indian national women's cricket team. Suprita is a renowned sports journalist and the author of much acclaimed books, Shadow Fighters, Sarita Devi and Her Extraordinary Journey. Free Hit, the story of women's cricket in India was written by her as well. Boria Majumdar is recognized as one of India's most influential commentators. Having covered international sports between 2000 and 2017, he is currently the consulting editor, Sports India Today's Group, and Research Senior Fellow. University of Central Lanashkar, he has authored or co-authored multiple books and his latest offering, 11 Gods and a Billion Indian, is already creating a stir. Please put your hands together for them.
Free Hit, please buy it, read it. It can't be a better time than now to read about women's cricket. So Suprita will take the lead to sing happy birthday. Come on, let's go. আগে বইটা ধরি আমরা, ছবিটা তোলা হোক, তারপরে we'll do the song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jhulan. Happy birthday to you. Jhulan, while we celebrate your birthday, unfortunately the game is not looking good at all. I mean, I've just done a piece for tomorrow which I had sent you to read. Suprita will absolutely be in a position to comment, having written the book. All the momentum that was gained in 2017 looks to have been lost over the last couple of days. You are a current player, I'm aware of that you cannot comment on what's going on, but are you disappointed with what's going on?
First of all, I'd like to say one thing. This is one of the best performance India have ever done in T20 format, because if you go through with the stats, and they have won 15 consecutive matches, including the side matches, including Australia A matches, and the group champion. They have become first time India becoming group champion in T20 format. And who was there in the group? Australia, the world champion today. New Zealand, Pakistan. Then you are having one bad day. And World Cup is such a big tournament. If you are lucky to have bad day in a league stage, not in a knockout stage. But I think it was one bad day for Indian cricket. And definitely whatever dreams, whatever belief we started, everything is over.
I was reading a comment by you, Jhulan, I think in Times of India only, that you said you were disappointed with the Mithali Raj leaving out. I mean, again, without going into the politics of it, not for you, but were you disappointed for my audience to have seen Mithali Raj not playing that game?
Well, definitely as an Indian fan, and definitely I was a bit upset when I saw her name was not there. All Indians are very excited that day to watch women's cricket live, but unfortunately, when we come to know that she is not in the 11, as an Indian fan and a very good friend of her, because playing from 99 together, I think Katha was there in 1999 too, when we were playing under 19, under 16, she was there. So from that time we started our journey, and now definitely I did not expect that we will be in the sideline. But certain time, certain thing, we don't know exactly what going on, what happened. But definitely, the right answer will give the team management.
That's enough said by a current player. I don't want to push Jhulan on that. In fact, I'm going to push Suprita on that. Suprita, now that you've written, and you are saying the story of women's cricket in India, Free Hit, the story is also what's going on backstage. The story is what we've just seen happen. As an informed observer, analyst, writer, author, journalist, what we are seeing cricketing reasons. Harman is on record saying it was a cricketing call. Do you agree it was just a cricketing call, or do you think there was more to it than a cricketing call?
Thank you so much, firstly, for having me here. I think it's wonderful that this is happening in Kolkata, which is my city, to have this book. I saw the book today for the first time, so thank you so much, and great that it's happening on Jhulan's birthday. But honestly, I mean, Harman did say on record that she is not regretful at all about the decision that she had taken, the decision taken before the semi-final, but we know how Indian cricket works. You know it. You've observed it much more closely than I have, and there certainly seems to be a situation of more than meets the eye. What will happen now, we don't know, but we do know that Mithali was certainly somebody in form. She was coming off 2 half centuries in the World Cup. Took a break in that last game against Australia, and we were pretty sure that Anuja Patil would be playing only for that one game, and then Mithali would be back for the semis. So one thought it was quite a bold step for Ramesh Pawar to have not played Mithali, and I at least thought, okay, are we trying to sort of understand here what Indian cricket is going to be like without Mithali and Jhulan? Is that a kind of statement that the board, that the management wants to make? One wasn't sure. And again, like I said, even if Mithali would have played or not played, no player can never guarantee success, right? Or result. You don't know whether she's going to hit another 50. She may have got out on a duck, you don't know. But she's still the world's leading run getter in ODI. She's got experience like nobody does. And I personally think when Mithali comes out to play, I think she comes out of the fridge. She's somebody who comes out with an ice pack on her head. She's that cool. So the experience and the calmness and the cool of a player like that was certainly missed. Like I said, looks like it's something that more than what meets the eye. But we'll have to see what the committee of administrators, they will have to take into consideration everybody's report, I'm sure, and see where this goes.
Okay. I'll give you my perspective, but my job today is more, as the Sutradhar, to ask questions of my 2 esteemed panelists. Another question to Suprita before I go to Jhulan. I mean, I've seen you evolve and flower as a journalist and do extremely well. We've covered Olympic Games together. But that's it. I mean, we've known Suprita Das more, not as a cricket journalist, but as an Olympic sporting journalist. So, what gets you to doing cricket?
I knew that was going to come up. Okay, so honestly, the moment happened to me during the 2017 World Cup last year. To be very specific, I was at work writing the match report for the India-Australia League game, which we lost. But that was also the match in which Poonam Raut had scored a century, and Mithali had gone past Charlotte Edwards' record in that game. So I was done writing the match report when I thought, hang on, so between Mithali and Jhulan, we've actually got the 2 stellar performers in world cricket, highest run getter, highest wicket taker in ODIs, right here from India. And they've achieved what they have achieved with little or no ecosystem for most part of their careers. Things are very different now. So I thought that was an amazing story, and I thought, hey, why aren't these girls celebrated as much as they should be? Because their achievement is no less than our men's cricket team, about who we are so mad. So that pretty much was the idea with which I approached the publishers, and they said, you know what, instead of looking into just the careers and achievements of Mithali and Jhulan, why don't you dig a little deeper, go a little back, and try and narrate who was there before Mithali and Jhulan also. How did the game even begin in India? What were its roots? So that's when we sort of decided to start from the very beginning of the sport, women's cricket in India, and try to bring it as present as possible. That's how it happened.
I can tell you, researching Indian cricket history is not easy. Having done it for 2.5 decades, you've got to create your own archive, because there is no archive that you walk into. You've got to then pester people like Jhulan, who will refuse to give you time, and Jhulan's a better.
It's her birthday, come on.
I mean, that's why I'm doing this. I've not given her birthday bumps. So this is a much easier thing to handle. So she's got to, Suprita has got to pester everyone. Shumita, good to see you. I mean, revered sports journalist, good to see you coming for a session on Indian women's cricket. Forever followed him for donkey's years now. But Jhulan, come to think of it, yes, you've called it a day for T20 cricket. Forget your Jhulan Goswami for a second. You've played international cricket at the highest level. Now, where it pains me is, I don't want to say Mithali Raj is at fault or for that tweet she was responsible or Harmanpreet Kaur is at fault or Ramesh Pawar is at fault. Whatever, whoever. There are rumors both of us know, all three of us know. But the fact is now that this rift is out in the open, and for all that has happened in the last 48 hours, there's one loser. And that loser is called India. Right? What I want to ask you is, can, in a situation like this, where the T20 captain doesn't trust the 50 over captain, the 50 over captain clearly has no trust or regard for the 20 over captain, can the two of them continue to be captaining international teams? Secondly, and more importantly, will you mediate? If the COA, for example, because you are one person, I don't think there's anybody, and I'm putting this on record, I don't think there's any other cricketer currently in this Indian setup who's close to both Harmanpreet Kaur and Mithali Raj and can mediate, has the confidence of both of them. If you are called upon to mediate and try and get a solution, will you do it?
Well, obviously, when I, as an Indian fan, as a cricketer, I know this team very well. It's not a good sign for Indian women's cricket. It's not a good thing for cricket itself. Sports itself is saying everything. But it's not a good thing. Whatever we have achieved in 2017 World Cup, and after, it was picking up very nicely, T20 format in West Indies. But unfortunately, certain thing happened in West Indies. That things is not in our control. But one thing I can say, Mithali and Harman, both of them are very good cricketer, no doubt about that. Only one thing is there, somebody has to sit down and make sure that they are in one path. And they know it's not like that this thing not happened, it's happened. But it should be in a better way, proper way, and clear way from BCCI side. That's look, yes, everywhere have this kind of problem happen. Every team having this kind of problem. Men's cricket, football, hockey, every team games have this kind of problem. Whenever too many stars, too many match winners there will be some little bit happen. But I think it is time to BCCI should come out and say, look, cricket should come first, and we are one team, one nation. Doesn't matter whatever we have done, forget it, come fresh and play together and try to build a team for 2020 in Australia. And this is a time. If you saw today's Elise Paddy's interview, what she said that last 2 years they are preparing for this World Cup. That means they are also having a lot of issues. Definitely they are having a lot of issues in the dressing room. Nothing has come out. But the same way, it's a both-way traffic. BCCI should come out and say, look, 2020 Australia T20 World Cup, if you want to win, you have to start preparing now. No matter who is there in the team, as a team we have to start build up from grassroots level, zero level. And somebody have to come and, make sure that both of them in one path. And if this thing has come out to me, and I have done many times, definitely I'll do that, because I always believe it's a team sports. Here, individual performance hardly matters. In the day, team come first.
That's the best thing I have heard all day. Last couple of days. I've spoken to both the protagonists, I've spoken to the BCCI, but this is the best thing I've heard, that Jhulan is willing to actually sit them down. What Jhulan just alluded to about egos in sport, Amrajani, Mr. Gavaskar and Kapil Dev in the 1980s, Shumita I'm sure has covered that rift as well. N.K.P. Salve at that point in time, BCCI president, called the two of them to his house, sat them down, discussed it, tried to solve the problem. Imran Khan, Javed Miandad, very well known, even Dhoni, Sehwag, it continues. Suprita, question for you. Now that the thing has reached where it has, do you think both of these legends, Mithali is one, Harman maybe will be one, already one, can they continue to captain India?
We'll need a captain for sure.
Either of these people with the other person in the side,
yeah.
there will be serious lack of trust.
It'll be very, Exactly. That's hugely crucial here, I think, because clearly we see a lack of trust here, because of which the kind of decisions these are the kind of decisions being taken and the kind of statements going around, which is unfortunate because one feels that the amount of hard work that these girls put in to put Indian women's cricket on the map and to make their names, their faces and their achievements public, one sort of feels that a lot of that hard work may just go in vain because of this. But we need a captain, and I think, I mean, if someone like Jhulan or any other senior athletes, I mean, if there's an independent commission, for instance, that can be set up. We see so many controversies in Indian sports, right? We have, in such scenarios, we have representative from the sports ministry, former sporting legends across disciplines. Maybe if need be, an independent panel and an independent query can be conducted with these representatives and whatever is best for Indian cricket at that time. That's the decision that should be taken.
Jhulan, if I look at it the other way, from the more positive standpoint, I mean, look, Mithali Raj gets dropped at 5:30 a.m. That's when people get to know. By 9 o'clock, it's trending on social media everywhere, right? It was trending on Saturday, it was trending on Sunday, today, it was trending, for the last 3 days. Today, the entire talk is about Mithali versus Harman versus Mithali, whatever it is, good or bad. Women's cricket has arrived. Brand women's cricket, good or bad, has arrived.
Well, Boria, definitely we love to see women's cricket come forward. People should know about women's cricket, but it's not this way. Because I still believe this was one of the best team played T20 World Cup, because I played 5 T20 World Cup, but haven't performed like this. We have never been a group champion. Come on, beating Australia hands down. What a tactical move was there. Bowling slow, bowling from the behind the stump. Not to give much pace. Everything was there. But it's just one thing is just everything gone under the carpet. Whatever hard work we have done, everything was there. But unfortunately, the wrong way. People are more talking about women's cricket. It should come out in a right way. Winning and losing is a part of the life. But if we, again, if I'm saying, in spite Mithali is playing in the first 11, if we lost that match, still people will start talking about good thing about women's cricket, because the journey of women's cricket in this last T20 World Cup was fantastic. But unfortunately, certain things happened. We don't know exactly from such a far end. But we have to wait. I think tomorrow or day after, I think some meeting was there. I think board have called officials. So let's wait for that, and definitely whatever if we are human beings. Everybody can do one mistake, and these things happen in the sports. But definitely we should learn from this, and this thing never repeat in the future. That is the most important thing.
Let me lighten this up. Suprita, you've written about the beautiful anecdote between Mithali and Jhulan. Why don't you tell my audience about it?
Okay, so since we're talking about Mithali and Jhulan, and pretty much the same time both of them had started their careers, there was this one time when the English women's team was touring India, and matchta Shilchore hocchilo. And Shilchore hocchilo, and it was a straight victory, easy win for the Indian team. তাড়াতাড়ি হয়ে গেছে খেলা, সারাদিন কি করবে, কত সাইট সিইং করবে। So Jhulan,
unfortunately, Shilchar have nothing. Sorry to say that.
So Jhulan was in her room.
Everyone, you're okay with Bangla? Everybody, right? So then,
I'll stick to English. Jhulan had retired to her room because the match got over so easily, and then got a phone call on. Those were, of course, days of only landline phones, no mobile phones. So she got a call on her hotel room, and the voice at the other end said, "Ma'am, the BBC wants to do an interview with you because you have taken a 5-wicket haul. So they want to write about it. They want to interview you. So can we please connect you to the reporter from BBC?" So Jhulan was obviously excited because the BBC wanted to interview her. And so the interviewer was connected with Jhulan Goswami, and they had a long conversation. Went on for more than 30 minutes. and they spoke about, how the English batting crumbled and Jhulan was on fire that day. Till a point when Jhulan started hearing giggles outside her hotel room and wondered what was going on. And she opens the door of her room to find out who? Her teammates. And this Amita Sharma was there, but the mastermind of this prank was none other than Mithali Raj, who had posed as a BBC reporter and conducted this interview. Jhulan was very excited, and in fact she had informed her parents that, listen, my interview will come on the BBC at so and so time, so you better tune in. That was it, and she found out that it was Mithali who was the prank master in this case. And Mithali Jhulan told me she had put on the perfect accent. So there was no way Jhulan would understand that it was actually Mithali on the other end, and no British reporter. But Jhulan, who is otherwise known to be she's absolutely cool. You can pull her leg about anything. Even the current team, if they crack jokes on her, she never minds. But that was the one time when I know Jhulan lost her cool, and Mithali says yes. For about 2-3 days, she did not talk to me. It took some time.
I've done in a next session many times because I have written in a low back, rib, in a glove inside a. Many times I have taken a badla in other way. But then the good thing happened. And next month we are touring to England, and BBC people had come to our hotel and just saying that, can I take one interview? I said, come on, I don't want to be next time. Then I called our manager. I said, you just find out first if everything is alright or not. And then she said, no, everything is fine, you just go and give the interview. Then I said, please call my captain, stand here. Look, I am giving interview to this BBC. So these things happen. She is actually a very naughty girl, but she did not come out like way we come out publicly, but she is a very naughty girl. That much I know.
I'm supposed to do a session with Mithali in Jaipur, in the Literary Festival in Jan, and she's actually coming to Kolkata next month, I think on the 18th or 19th to do a session. So I'm going to get Mithali to do the BBC journalist's accent for sure. I mean, there's no two ways about it. But celebrating Jhulan, I mean, from Chapda to Lords, and that's quite a story. 10-22-3, that World Cup, the final, 27,000 people not getting to play with her elder siblings, and then only after they left did she have a chance to play cricket. It's been a journey which obviously will be on celluloid soon. A biopic is being made on her. Sony Pictures, one of the biggest studios in the country, producing that biopic. Fabulous stuff. But Jhulan, when you actually look back, now that you're not a retired cricketer, I don't want to make you sound a retired cricketer, but when you look back at Lords and that performance, and your start in Chapda, it's nothing less than a dream.
Well, I honestly speaking, it was a dream for me because every day I was dreaming, every day I was just believing in myself that I want to play for my country, I want to contribute for my country, and the picture is there in this book, 2014, Smriti is there, I just saying Smriti is there. 2014 we were playing series against England, and she was very excited, her second trip. And we were playing at loss, a third ODI, and match was wash out. And we were standing in the center, and she was crying like, first time we have come here to Lords, we're not able to play, we don't know where we're getting a chance to play in a Lords. I said, Smith, generally it's called Smith, and Smith, just think about 2017 World Cup final, India and England playing, what do you want? Are you kidding me? I said, no, I'm dreaming. And I believe in my dreams because I'm chasing my dream each and every day. When I was traveling from Chakda to Vivekananda Park each and every day in the morning, I used to just pray myself, I want to do better. I want to do, I have to learn something new. At first, I want to play for Bengal. When I achieved that, then I realized that now I have to play for Senior Bengal. That is how I have to look after myself, that improvement, how I am going to justify that I am getting better. How? no, when I get selected from 19 to senior, senior to India A, then Air India journey, and that was a different kind of story altogether. Staying in such a small flat, one bathroom, when a 50
cleaner travel next to the toilet.
Exactly. Well, she was there, and we are going to drive daily for zone tournament, under 19 zone tournament, and there is no reservation. We all are sitting in a general dabba next to toilet, bring all this newspaper and bed sheet to put it on the floor, and we sat down. And 2 nights we traveled like that, and our parents were a bit tense, worried, and they said this is not the way you want to play cricket, because when we start, early days when we for me it was very difficult to convey my parents. They said no, this is not the way you have to travel, because it's not safe, and 15 girls are traveling like this. Best thing was we had a lot of passion for the game, for the love. But unfortunately, nowadays they are talking in another way. But still, I believe, I believe in my dream. I believe in my dreams. Each and every day, I'm dreaming and try to achieve something new.
Fabulous. I mean, this is genuinely a stuff of dreams, and dreams do come true. Suprita, your favorite story from the book? Anything that you want to talk about?
Well, there are a whole bunch of. Honestly, for me, the journey of this book has been one full of learnings, really. And when Jhulan was just responding to this question, she mentioned passion. And I think that's, if there are 2 things that I sort of take away from this book and all my research, is across generations, all these women that have played cricket for India, there are 2 things that are absolutely common and same. One is the passion, and they have unlimited amounts of it. Because a large part of the journey of women's cricket in India, when it was not controlled and run by the BCCI, it was run by the Women's Cricket Association of India, life was really tough for them. I mean, she's just talking about how they traveled unreserved, but there's more than just that. Like everywhere, when I've asked these girls, where did you all stay when you all went for a tournament? People have said different things. School hall, college hall, university hall, marriage hall, badminton hall, corner of stadium. So the struggles have been immense. And nobody was paid to play cricket for a very long time. This was purely done because these girls were so passionate and they just wanted to follow their dreams. So they were passionate, and they would not have been able to follow their dreams, I think, if they didn't have a really supportive set of parents. Because from the time when Mitali, Jhulan, and even earlier when women started playing cricket, it was not common for women to be playing a sport that was played primarily by men. I mean, I know Mitali told me that my grandparents were very worried because I would be standing in the sun for 6 to 7 hours, I would get dark. So when I would be of marriageable age, nobody would come and marry me. Or, if I'd come home from the ground any of the days with a cut or a bruise on my face, they would think, that's it, is ladki ka to ho gaya. So, keeping all of that aside, continuing to do what they want to, what they're passionate about, I mean, I think I've become huge fans in the process of researching for this book, and I have tremendous amount of respect for them. But that is one of my favorite stories, the BBC story that I narrated.
Jhulan, I mean, now it's no longer traveling in unreserved compartments or whatever it is. Now they travel business class and they sort of stay in 5-star hotels. So you would think that Jhulan Goswami, the brand, when she comes to the airport, people come and queue up for autographs and photographs and selfies. And Jhulan goes home, okay? Jhulan goes home after an NCA camp, and the sports nutritionist at the NCA camp has told Jhulan that you've got to have bajra ki roti, okay? And Jhulan goes home and tells her mom, bajra roti khao. The rest Jhulan will tell you what happened at home.
মা বললো না সম্ভব হবে না কারণ पूरा जिंदगी तुम्हारी पापा के बाजरा की रोटी बनाते बनाते मेरा हाथ थक गया अब बाजरा की रोटी नहीं बन सकते सिंपल से खाना खा लो अगर खेलना है खेलो नहीं तो घर में जाके बैठ लो This is how my mom, she is very innocent, and that is how she is. She still did not believe that I come into the stage, I talk about cricket, I talk about experience of my life, but she did not believe because she still feels that I'm from that village girl and I am that much young, very shy person. That is how my mom is. But yeah, it's a story, Till today, मैं घर पे आती हूँ तो अभी भी वही घर का खाना ही मिलता है, no bajra ki roti. Then I called my dietitian and said, sorry, bajra ki roti is not available. Then he said, doesn't matter, you enjoy your home food. When you are in the tour, make sure that you eat bajra ki roti.
And the other Jhulan food story is, she's obviously a sports person, elite sports person, high performance sports person. She goes during pujas and this Jhulan tells me, she says, Jano, pujo shomoy karor barite jai, are ek thala mishti dicche, khabo ki kore? So this is typical Bengali tradition to sort of offer a full plate of mishti, despite knowing that here comes somebody who's going to play for India the very next day, they're about to go to Sri Lanka and play and wherever, and suddenly we offer a full plate of shandesh and whatever. Unbelievable. And this is Bengaliness. We are champions in our own right. Suprita, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so since you asked for a story, we know how Jhulan started from Jackpot when she came to Kolkata. She was a ball girl during the 1997 Women's World Cup that was held here. And Catherine Fitzpatrick of Australia was the fastest bowler in the world, and she was just mesmerized that somebody could bowl so fast. And at that point, she had decided, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, you fast track to a few years, and this story is happening in Pakistan when they had gone to play the Asia Cup. And this young girl, whose mother was one of the organizers of the Asia Cup tournament, her name is Kainat Imtiaz. She was fascinated watching Jhulan bowl at the net so fast. And Kainat then went on to become a cricketer, a fast bowler for Pakistan. And during the World Cup last year, she was scared initially. But then she somehow managed to gather some guts, and she walked up to Jhulan and said, you know what, I had watched you bowl, I was at the nets just hanging around, and here I am today, I'm a fast bowler for Pakistan. To which Jhulan said, you know what, I have a ball girl story as well, that's how I started as well, so I'm glad that, that I inspired you. So Kainat's one of the several young girls I think she's inspired, it's amazing.
That's how legends are born, and here's one who we actually need to celebrate to the fullest. And I'm delighted that Suprita has been able to document this over the last 1.5 years, the story. I'll talk about women's cricket with these two for the next 5 minutes and then open up for questions. The first one will have to be Shuminda because it's a personal tribute to him. So first one from him and then some of the others, we'll take questions. 2 questions to, one each for each of you. Jhulan, way forward for the women's game. Are you playing 2021? Put it on record for me. You playing 2021 for sure. I asked you this question when you said T20 is no longer for me, it's becoming fast, etc. I told you don't retire. You said, no, hochana, parchina. I don't want to sort of keep, and I'm tremendous. I don't see people walking out like that, which you did. Your position was secure. Nobody in this team dared touch Jhulan Goswami, but you left your position to Arundhati Reddy. Hats off. Having said that, 2021, are you there?
Well, now I'm just focusing, we are going to New Zealand Jan. That is my first criteria to go there and perform well, because when you're not playing competitive cricket for a long time, it's not easy come back and perform the way you wanted to perform. But I cannot assure you at this moment, 2021 is a long journey, because as a medium pacer, you're getting older, you're getting a lot of niggles, you're struggling with the niggles, you're struggling with the body. Body needs time to recover. So I am not assuring you at this moment, but I am going step by step.
Okay, now let me stop you there. Part 2 question. You said you keep dreaming, right? I mean, Jhulan Goswami, you made the World Cup final, you've been man of the match, 10, 22, 3. You've played 2 World Cup finals, you're a legend, highest wicket taker, etc., etc. What's the dream? If you do not play 2021, shot to hai.
No, now I'm in such a stage, I have to be very realistic. I cannot dream like, I was 5 years ago.
Okay.
I have to be very realistic and very calculated. But let's go step by step. Definitely, I'll try to continue to play 2021 New Zealand World Cup, but still, it's long way to
If the body holds, you'll play?
Yes. everything is my body.
She's
Body
passing
is my
yo-yo tests, I know that. So,
Yes, that's not the issue. It's not about the yo-yo test.
She passed the yo-yo test easily.
It's not a thing. It's thing is, when you're playing back-to-back matches, your body gets tired. You're getting a lot of niggles. You're getting a lot of fatigue, and that's pull you back 2 steps behind. And again, you prepare your body and everything. And again, when playing a competitive cricket, it's take time to adjust with a certain thing. So I'm just at this moment and the present scenario, I just go step by step and try to achieve my small target and or small dream.
Very good answer. Suprita, before I open it up, Mitali Raj, cover of Vogue, Jhulan Goswami, Times of India Literary Festival, along with obviously us two, plus 100 different corporate talks, brands, etc. Smriti Mandhana, big, the Kia T20 Blast, player of the tournament, multiple endorsements, thanks to Tuhin and Baseline. If you just keep going, women's cricket is getting there. Your take, will this slow it down? Or do you think this is just an aberration? The game has picked up pace and no one can stop this juggernaut.
So I think it has picked up pace for sure. The reason for calling this book Free Hit is exactly that. We were thinking of a lot of names, and because journalism makes us very cynical, I was coming up with a lot of negative names. But the reason why we called it Free Hit is because I think women's cricket in India right now is in a position where, just like if an umpire signals a free hit, a batsman can hit freely and not get dismissed. Similarly, I think women's cricket in India is in a kind of situation where you cannot dismiss the women's team any longer. It's fantastic that they made it to the semis of the T20 World Cup after missing out on 3 editions. And now, personally, I think this is really crucial. In 2017, when they lost at Lord's, they came back, but all of them have told me when I was talking to them that we really didn't feel like we lost that final. The amount of love that we received when we reached India was fabulous. So I think this is a litmus test sort of a time. They've faltered at the semi-final stage. Will Indian audiences still continue to love them and support them? That's a big question, because overall, as we've seen among Indian audiences, we tend to not remember runners-up for very long, right? The other thing is how all the stakeholders of the sport react to this reaction. We've already got the Mithali versus Harman situation that needs to be resolved ASAP. But looking at the larger picture, the next major tournament will be the next T20 World Cup, which is 2 years from now. So, in between these 2 years, what do we do to the women's game? We've got to make sure that these guys are still visible. We've got to make sure that they're constantly there in public minds and memories. And we have to make sure that this IPL that people have been talking about, contemplating, thinking, should we do it? Should we do it later? Should we try out a few more games next time during the men's playoffs? No, I think the right time is to do it now, because we've seen the kind of T20 talent that we have just in the World Cup in the previous week. So I don't think we should be waiting for things like an IPL.
That was actually my last question for you.
Sure. But while we look at a property like the IPL, a full-fledged IPL, maybe with fewer teams, maybe 5 to 6 teams perhaps, I think what really needs the attention is domestic cricket. There may be plenty of talk, like you mentioned, about Mithali, Harman, Smriti, Jhulan, all of them, and the team that represents India. But it's domestic cricket which needs a lot of care, attention, and even finances. Because if we don't take care of those girls, then they're just going to keep dropping out. And we will not have a bench strength.
True. Just by way of clarification, the Women's World Cup, the next T20, it's now called the T20 World Cup according to an ICC release of yesterday. It's actually 16 months down the line, so it's not that far. It's March of 2020 in Australia, which is what, 16 months? Exactly 16 months down the line. So it will pass like this. Just like Jhulan said, Elise Alexander Perry, my personal favourite in terms of the women's game in the world. I think she's an absolute legend. Just like she said today morning, I mean, you've got to prepare from yesterday, not even today. And Suprita's point is absolutely well taken. Priyanka Roy dropping out last year, I kept asking Jhulan, Cano. We can't keep losing talent. For whatever reason, people who are talented, who are playing this game at the state level, the national level, need to be encouraged, inspired, so that they continue with this game. Because the talent pool is still not that big. The talent pool is still there. I mean, it's growing. And when it is growing, that's why I'm worried. Because of this Harman Mithali situation, I think certain amount of momentum will be lost. Jhulan, are we ready? Quick answer before I open it up. Are we ready for the women's IPL?
Yes, very much, because last year we played one exhibition match, and the match was fantastic experience we had, and all foreign cricketers, apart from Indian girls, they want to come and perform here because they found that is the most difficult place to perform when the wickets are different, weather, and the quality of cricket. They enjoy our Indian cricketers' standard. They said unnecessary. Everybody is saying that Indian cricket is going down, but as a foreign cricketer, we always believe that India is going up and up and up. But why not IPL? But I found last year only is the right time there for IPL. But unfortunately, we missed out. But I hope this time they should start. What Suprita said, that at least 5 teams, not 18. Otherwise, it will be difficult because 8 teams you need a lot of girls. At least you can start with the 5 team, and you have plenty of good domestic cricketers who can contribute. At end of the day, who's a beneficial? Indian cricket. Somebody is playing against Ellis Perry or with Meg Lanning or Heather Knight. You are going to learn something new from them. The professionalism you are going to learn from them. So I think as if today's Indian cricket is here, you have to give some credits to IPL, because IPL grows so many young cricketers. Each and every year they produce good, budding, talented cricketers. So definitely, if you start IPL for girls, definitely Indian cricket end of the day is going to be beneficial. And this is the right time.
Okay. Organizers, anybody from Times of India here? My time is till 6:45, right? Anyone? What time can I go till? 6:45? 6:45? Okay, great. Can I have a microphone to Shumita, please? Shumita, question to you. I mean, I know you're not part of the panel, but I want to know your reaction. Do you think this Harman Mithali situation has somewhat derailed the thing? What do you think the BCCI should do? And then if you have a question for my 2 panelists. Can I have a microphone there to Shumit Mukherjee? Can I get a microphone thing, please? There. A camera Pasha. Can I get a microphone to them?
Congratulations, Suprita, very, very nice. I remember how the book started. It didn't get off on a very...
In your office.
Yes. And Jhulan, of course, was in my office a few days back. But I'll get back to that before I answer Boria's question. I think it was a complete mess, the Harmanpreet Mithali thing. And it's not going to go in a hurry. Why? Because we have still not addressed, we still don't know the truth behind it. Why was she wrong? It's better for the team, it's a team decision, winning combination. I mean, Mithali, come on, Mithali played 2 matches, got 250s in winning causes. That was also a winning team, right? So you don't change winning team, and you are saying don't change your winning team, then why are you changing her? So we don't know the truth yet, the whole truth, I will say. I think we know the Ardha Satya, which is a problem, always a problem, because you tend to assume the other part, sometimes perhaps wrongly, because I don't know what went on in the meeting or behind the scene or behind what happened before the match. But maybe playing Mithali would not have won us the match also. But as they say, justice must appear to have been done also. Here she was clearly wrong. So this we have to live with. And I don't understand, Jhulan, I don't understand this business. So why should BCCI get into this? This is an ego problem. This is a problem between cricketers. Why does BCCI have to play an umpire? Why can't the players sort it out themselves? Because this is clearly an ego issue between two senior players. It is, as you said, it happens in every sport. But I think leaving it on BCCI will only muddle the pitch further. I mean, there will be an uneasy truce. It is much better that if cricketers like you or as Boria said, I mean, if you could sit together and put your heads together and sort it out, because you people have toiled and hard and worked and fought hard together on the field. I mean, that's the best way to do it. I mean, but if it is thrust upon you, it may work for a while. It may work for some time before it breaks down again. Because trust, once broken, can never be fixed completely. Secondly, Jhulan, I mean, 2 days before the semi-final, Jhulan happened to be in my office, so we had invited her for another write-up. We were talking, and she said she was like very excited that it's the first time I'm watching as a fan. I'm not there, but I can't hide my excitement. I hope the girls get through. I hope they win. I hope they win. And she was so optimistic that she said, Suprita, if they win, then IPL is through. I mean, there is no force in this world can stop a women's IPL if they win the World Cup. I said, I completely agree with you. It may not happen now at this moment, but it may happen. It will still happen. I think the girls have done pretty well. It's a shame that a lot of things has been taken away from them, beating Australia, I mean, England were beatable. Look at what happened today. Look at what happened today. So it was absolutely beatable. So what will happen perhaps is we'll have a smaller start, or sometimes if the BCCI manages the finances and the COA manages the finances, and perhaps it could be precede a main match, if not a standalone IPL for girls, but it will be the matches can precede, so that people can have 2 matches on one ticket. One ticket. Yeah, that would be a great start.
We played in last year.
Yeah, like last year. But on a greater scale, because 5 teams or 4 teams will be in about 80 people. So let's hope for the best. And in greater terms, thank you, Suprita, for working behind, so making this effort and working your way of to make this book possible. Because very little, believe me, I mean, I have covered women's cricket from my cup days. It's very difficult. There's hardly any material to fall back on. So now we have something to refer to when we talk about women's cricket.
Yeah, just to put it on record, there's another one coming, Mitali's book, there's Shashank stuff on women's cricket, so there's real literature happening, and the more the merrier. Couple of questions. Yes. Only male hands. How is it even possible? Okay, no problem. I'll take one here, I'll take there, but I at least want one woman to ask a question of my panelists as well. Ekhane din microphone, please. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, my question to Mithali is that Mithali, whenever
Jhulan.
Oh, sorry, Jhulan. Whenever you pass, extremely sorry. Jhulan, whenever you pass in front of the Eden Gardens and when you see there is a huge picture of Sachin Tendulkar, Saurav Ganguly, Lakshman, and there is a small picture of yours as well. But the size matters. Your contribution to Indian cricket is no way lesser than Tendulkar's contribution or Saurav Ganguly's contribution. My question is, Jhulan, does it give a pinch of pain anywhere in heart? It is only because of being born as a woman, your poster size is not as big as Tendulkar or Ganguly.
Well, I don't believe all these things, where my poster is there or not there, because people remember me as a cricketer, and I know what I have done for my team, my country, my state. That is more important thing, and that is the most satisfaction thing. And where my poster is there or not there, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for me. I know how to play cricket, and I'm passionate about that. That's much I can say.
I've got time for 2 more after this.
Yeah, hi, my name is Raj. My question is to both Suprita and Boria to you. Would the business side of IPL, the business side of cricket, women's IPL, would it be a bit tough to get sponsorship? Number one, and number two, since both of you cover Olympics, isn't it a high time to get both men's and women's cricket into Olympics 2024 Paris?
So I do think, I mean, that's a huge debate, right? Whether cricket should be a part of the Olympics or not. Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Cricket takes long time to finish. Even if it's a T20 game, you're looking at about 3.5 hours, right? So if as a fan, if somebody has, let's say, an opportunity to watch 3 or 4 events at the same time, instead of watching just one cricket match, maybe, they would rather watch multiple events. The other thing is also that you've got to look at cricketing infrastructure. The kind of venues where Olympic events are happening, do they have existing cricketing infrastructure? It's expensive to, organize something, and then what are you going to do? Are you going to develop a cricket team there? If not, you're going to have to dismantle the entire thing. The entire Olympic movement is in a condition where costs are being looked at very carefully. Throughout the world, we see huge and famous Olympic structures which are absolutely being wasted. We don't want that to happen. Having said that, cricket though has had the opportunity to be a part of the Asian Games, and I mentioned that in my book how there were teams from Pakistan as well who played in Guangzhou in China in 2010 and then even in 2014. And that, for me, I think is an opportunity that was missed by the BCCI because these girls were not playing any tournament at that time. So I think that was a great opportunity for them to have gone and played at the Asian Games, maybe even won gold medals, and that could have sort of improved the profile of the game considerably. But at the Olympics, simply if we look at it from the economic point of view, I'm not sure if that would be a very smart thing to do.
Just ফেলুদা কি বলেন 1.5 ঘন্টা জট লাগাও 1.5 ঘন্টা ছাড়াও আমি উল্টো দিকটা বলে দিই বিএমএক্স থাকলে ক্রিকেটও থাকতে পারে অলিম্পিক্সে থাকা উচিত 7টা দেশ বিএমএক্স খেলে 3 ঘন্টার অনেক ইভেন্ট অলিম্পিক্সে থাকে 3 ঘন্টার ইভেন্ট থাকে কিন্তু ক্রিকেট কোনোদিনও থাকবে না কেন থাকবে না যতদিন বিসিসিআই ওয়াডা কমপ্লায়েন্ট হবে না বিসিসিআই যদি ক্রিকেট অলিম্পিক্সে আনতে দেয় they have to become part of the national sports code national sports code এর পার্ট তারা কোনোদিন হবে না কারণ তাহলে পলিটিশিয়ানদের ফ্রিডম চলে যাবে তারা বোর্ড কন্ট্রোল করতে পারবে না তাহলে একগাদা জিনিস তৈরি হয়ে যাবে যেগুলো কোনোদিন তারা হতে দেবে না সো ক্রিকেট অলিম্পিকের এটা হচ্ছে ইজ আ পাইপ ড্রিম Arey boss, who will go and put pressure on the politicians? Leave it. So, next, Dudo question. Yes.
First of all, very many happy returns of the day, madam.
Thank you.
Ma'am, my question is...
Happy returns of the day. Where's the cake? Come on, yeah. Anyway, question.
Ma'am, my question is that I have been hearing in one interview that our sports minister is telling that for women who are going to take part in cricket, often we find that those who are coming to play cricket over here, they just come and they perform well, and after that they just quit out for a job. As we have seen for in men's cricket like Joginder Sharma. And after the 2017 T20 World Cup, he just went out. So my question is that, is it a burden, especially for women, that they are just going to come, they're going to perform well, and just they're going to get a job and just go on? Is this course is related for searching for job?
It's not necessary that you're playing and you're performing only for the job. But you know what? One thing, end of the day, everybody wants to become a secure position. If you're mentally not stable, financially not stable, then you're not going to 100% able to focus on the field. Because if you don't have sufficient money on your hand, then how are you going to have better coach, better trainer? How are you going to expand your cricketing gears? It's so expensive nowadays. One quality bat is 30,000. And here you need a 4 to 5 bat. If you're not coming from well-to-do family, then how are you going to survive? Then that means you're saying that game will go away and you're just looking for the job. It's the both way traffic. It cannot be one way. You need everything, and end of the day, everybody wants to become stable.
যেটাও বললো না ইনফ্যাক্ট নিজের ঢাক পেটালো না ঝুলন কতগুলো ইয়াং ক্রিকেটারকে যে ব্যাট দেয় আর কিট দেয় নিজে দেয় জোগাড় করে দেয় আমি জানি that's another side of Jhulan Goswami that you all should know about. Last question. No, only if a woman asks, otherwise no questions. Anybody? Come on. Yes, ma'am, you saved me.
So firstly, I've been sitting here for a while. It's very inspiring to hear, stories about women who've come and, who've risen. And I'm a sociology student, so it's called social mobility. where you rise the ranks. So, ma'am, could you tell us about the kind of problems that you've actually had to face, maybe when you were a child, maybe when you were dreaming about cricket or watching cricket on TV? Did you ever, because I'm sure it's not that easy to become Jhulan Goswami. I'm sure there's a struggle. So can you tell us about the struggle and the dark moments in your life where you were not sure?
Well, life itself is a struggle because each and every time, each and every day, we struggle to live good quality life. But you know what? When I was playing cricket, a lot of people, train, when I used to come out, take early morning train, the people used to say, where are you going? I said, I'm going for cricket training. So they used to say, in this age you should study, you should not play cricket. And that was the most toughest thing for me to digest. I used to feel, why they can't say that you should continue, you should play well, we'll support you. It's one small word. It's not about your parents or your friend. It could be some strangers who could say one good thing and motivate you, and that might make you a good day. So yeah, these things happen in a life, but you know what? I always chasing my dream. I don't know what's going on my right side or left side. I never attend my family function, never attend my family, whatever things was there in my family, I never attend. And so I don't know, because I was only focusing on cricket and wanted to do well, wanted to play for country at least one match where I can bowl one over, and end of the day there will be one wicket there in my name. That was my dream, and I was just chasing. I don't know what's going on. What is the darkest side? I don't know. If it was there, I just overlooked and just keep playing keep chasing my dream. That's all.
To close it. Just for a second, pause and look at the horizon of Indian sport. There is a certain Mary Kom, yesterday, mother of 3, winning her 6th world title at the age of 35. The same Mary Kom, Suprita Das was there covering the London Games with me. And the first question when we asked Mary after winning her medal is, so what's going on, etc. And her first reaction was, Emirates वाले बहुत अच्छे थे, मुझे मेरा rice cooker ले आने दिया, मैं rice bag, sticky rice बना के खा सकता हूँ. This is the kind of humility and modesty that I see in our women athletes. You ask Jhulan Goswami tomorrow, Jhulan এটা করে দেবে? Never has she said no to me. মহিলাদের বয়স বলতে নেই. Just think of her age. Think of Mitali's age. Suprita is a kid. Think of Mary Kom's age. Think of the horizon of Indian sport from PV Sindhu at 21 to Mitali Raj and Jhulan Goswami and Mary Kom. And all I will say is, keep dreaming, for dreams do come true. Thank you very much. And the final plug, ওইটা কিনবেন অনেক কষ্ট করে লিখেছে, রয়্যালটির জন্য নয়, সেটা তো পাবে না, বই লিখে এখানে পয়সা করা যায় না, কিন্তু বইটা কিনে পড়বেন. As Jhulan says, really enjoyed it. Admire Suprita Das for unearthing this precious slice of history. It's a real work of passion and hard labor, so do please buy the book and read it. Thank you very much.